Hello, everyone. Have you missed us? It's James Sandlin and myself, Jamie Hughes, here for Sports Talk on this Thursday afternoon. And James, buddy, you look like you got it made down in Emelina, Kentucky.
Buddy, if everything pans out right, I'm trying to get used to what I'm going to be doing a whole lot of this fall. Jamie, sitting back in my old rocking chair.
I can tell you're already breaking that chair in quite well. But now don't get too comfortable because, as we like to say, business is about to pick up, brother. Can you believe that summer's about over and it'll be Friday Night Lights and a whole lot of other stuff coming up here real soon?
Yeah, man, that dead period will start and season 3 will get underway, and we got some people that's going to come on board this fall. And so, man, we've took a break, Jamie. I'm kind of excited to get back started.
Me too. I told my wife, I said, I got to get back interested in some sports stuff. And
They
man,
may be more. They may be more interested than me and you. We might have been home too much here lately.
yeah, I'd say they about ready to buy a commercial on here. Buddy, we got a bunch of stuff we can talk about tonight. Of course, UK baseball got our hopes up, and then they let them down. But still, yet, I don't think it's nothing to be ashamed of to lose in, well, I guess is that the final 8?
Yeah.
And so Coach Mingione and the guys did a good job, and we'll talk more about that. Some football news, and then we got a whole bunch of high school football we can start talking a little bit about, tip our toes in. You've been doing a good job with these, what are we calling that, where you recap some of these players?
Just the watch list players, that had a really good 2023 fall and what we expect, coming out of 2024. So just a watch list, we've got some more players need to be added on to it. Going to add a young man out of Breathitt County on it tomorrow from down there in Bobcat Land on the riverbank. So, we're getting a little bit. We've hit the 15th region, so going to introduce a couple of 13th region players next week. So looking forward to that as well.
For certain, man, we are, and then I'm gonna try to get the pictures up of the Knott County Central football facilities. I'm starting to really like what I see there. Every time you drive by, you can see some stuff going down there, and we'll talk about that. I had a chance to talk to a couple basketball coaches, and I guess this is their last week before the dead period, and we just got all kinds of stuff we can talk about. But, James, before we do too much talking, let's take a commercial break or two, and we'll be back here. Dirt track racing, got a bunch of it coming up tonight, too, for you fans as well. Stick around. We'll be back after this word from our good sponsors at the Bank of Hyman.
For over 100 years, the Bank of Hyman has been committed to serving our community and serving the future of our families, homes, and businesses. With our new convenient online banking, viewing your account balance and history, transferring money, and paying bills has never been easier or more secure. And with the construction of our new headquarters, we've renewed our promise to Hyman to stand by our customers even in troubling economic times, because we're not just your bank, we're your neighbors. That's the Bank of Hyman. Log on to www.bankofhyman.com or give us a call at 606-785-3158.
Nestled in the mountains of Appalachia, along the Purpose Road, is a hidden gem, Alice Lloyd College. For 100 years, ALC has been providing opportunities.
Opportunity to learn from the best.
Opportunity to work for my education.
Opportunity to serve my community.
Opportunity to become a leader.
Opportunity to find my life's purpose.
Apply now to find your purpose at Alice Lloyd College.
Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court is happy to once again be sponsoring another event featuring our Knott County youth. Judge Executive Dobson and the members of the Knott Fiscal Court encourage you to support all our Knott County youth in all of their academic and athletic endeavors. That positive reinforcement means the world to these student athletes. This reminder from Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court.
Hicks Brothers Construction knows that times are tough and your money is hard to come by. That's why they pledge to always do the job right the first time. Specializing in backhoe work, septic systems, house seats, and road work. No job is too big or too small. Hicks Brothers Construction, a name you know you can count on. Call 606-785-4838. That's Hicks Brothers Construction. And again, let me say hello to my buddy Kirby Hicks and the fellas at Hicks Brothers Construction. They're working, James Selling, right below my house, and doing a fantastic job down there for a friend of yours and mine. And he's having some excavating work done. But if you need anything done, get up with Kirby and the guys at Hicks Brothers Construction. And then a huge thanks to Miss Tracy and everybody at the Bank of Hyman. They've been on board. It's one thing to sponsor us, James, but it's another to sponsor us when there ain't a whole lot going on. There hasn't been, but it's getting ready to get real busy for these sponsors and for me and you, brother.
Man, it is. Bank of Hyman's been with us for a while, and just super good people, man.
We look down there and see Mr. Vance Hurley says, "Don't worry, boys. I am here." James, last time I heard from Vance, he's in New York and Philadelphia. He's been everywhere a man can go. They ought to write a country song about that cat.
Yeah, I think he's back. He's now trying to come up with a new shoe. If you talk to the Toe Force ones, he had some issues, had to come back. So glad Vance is getting all healed up. Oh man, he's a good guy, and he's a really, really good friend.
Him and Rick Mobley are already on here singing your praises. I'll let you read the comments later on what they might be saying.
I don't need to read them. Preachers ain't supposed to lie, Jamie. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Well, I'm not lying. I'm just, it's all in the eyes of the beholders, what they say.
Right. Yeah, I like that. I like it. Yeah.
Hey, man, let's pick back up with UK baseball. I know you're a bigger baseball man than me, but that was special for the Cats to be able to do what they done, and I think it had just helped the game all across the Commonwealth, as you've told me before.
Man, it was a ride. It was kind of funny is that I was paying attention a lot longer probably than some people that come on board about the region and the super regionals. I called it probably back in March that UK was a baseball school. And not in my, and I'll be honest, not in my wildest dreams that I see UK making it to the College World Series, because we've never been there before. We've been to region, and we was in Super Region last year. But man, I'll tell you what's even more impressive, Jamie. You may agree with me, you may not, but the longer UK went on, and the more that Coach Majone at UK got in front of the press, and the people around the world got to hear that man talk and talk about the program and talk about the University of Kentucky. If you wasn't a fan of his before, you've got to be now. I don't know if there's a more genuine coach in the country.
Well, and when he started talking about God and giving him the credit and started playing Christian songs during the middle of his interview, and that wasn't a show, man. That was legit. And that guy was speaking from his heart, and those kind of coaches always get me, and I'm bought in. I am, no doubt.
Yeah, there'll be people talked about on that team for a long time. Nicholson and Daly and Petrie and Mason Moore from Rowan County. He's a homegrown Kentucky kid, so that's even more special. And Posey, I mean, man, I could go on and on, but I've watched it for the last couple of years. It's just the ride that they took us on, man, was special. I mean, there was people all across it probably had never watched a college baseball game, was tuning in to watch baseball.
Well, at that level, that was my first. And I've watched a ton of Alice Lloyd games and so forth, but I really got into it. And then you know what else I done, James? I tried with an open mind to get into the NBA playoffs.
Can't do
Watched games in every round.
Yeah.
Then watched every game except one of the finals. And guess what? I'm done with it. I just don't see how people get into it, man. If it ain't scripted, it can be.
No, I'm with you. I don't know how it is either. I've not been able to watch it since, I guess since COVID. It's a different NBA than it was when me and you grew up with Jordan and Isaiah Thomas and Larry Bird and all those guys, man. They played as a team, and there was defense, but it meant something. It's just now who can outscore who. There's no defense. I don't know. It's not a fun game to watch anymore, I guess.
James, I saw people play better defense over at the Sky Dome than what they played in some of those playoffs. It's crazy, man.
Well, you'll get tickled just since you said that, but I drove by the Hyman Park yesterday, and I looked over and seen the green courts, the old Hyman Park, and I was thinking, man, if people would have seen the wars that went on back in the mid '90s on that, they wouldn't believe it. There was people. That park used to stay packed, man. They would have probably 40 teams. You'd have 40 people over there going both courts, and 2 teams calling next. I mean, it was.
And the Mosleys would be there playing on the same team, but they argued with each other. It was me and the Mosleys, and I'm honest with you. We'd go rent some of these gyms, and Jamie and Keith would fight, but it was always with each other. I never worried about nobody getting mad at me because I just knew they'd go fight with each other.
Oh yeah, it's
I tell a story all the time. Sometimes we was at these games and one of them would get mad and they'd say, "If I know Mommy die, that didn't happen." And the other one would say, "Well, if I know Mommy die, it did." And I'd just laugh and I'd say, "Poor old Mommy ain't got a chance."
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, again, I don't know where I come up with all that side of the story. But I drove by again, Knott County Central. It was free dump day, Wednesday, and I was off work, so I hauled off some junk. Then I just, man, I'm impressed with where the football field's coming up there. I really like the rock wall deal that they're building in different places up there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a nice facility once it's done. They've had great weather the last 2 or 3 weeks. We've not had much rain. And I'll be honest with you, if you would have done this show about an hour earlier, we might have been filming me in a swimming pool. It's been so hot lately, and that ain't nothing nobody wants to see.
I all day yesterday pressure washed my swimming pool, and be honest with you, I didn't realize how bad out of shape I am. I didn't.
Yeah.
But it needed it, and my girls had a good time splashing and talking about how good the water was what time I was working around it. You know how that goes, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I know how all that goes. It's but when them kids get to use it, it's worth them getting to it.
It is indeed, man. And then before we went off the air, James, we talked just a tick there about the stuff that you're putting together where we're showcasing these different high school football players. And believe it or not, man, I guess they get to go this week, and then they take a few weeks off, and then it'll be time to really get down to the grindstone in high school football.
Man, it will. I think we're going to bring back, as of right now, unless something changes, when we come back after the dead period, we're going to be on location. Hopefully have a couple of coaches sit down and join us for a meal. We're going to talk some fall high school football with them, man. It's going to be a interesting time, and it'll be here before we know it.
And let me ask you from a coaching standpoint, the dead period, I know it's for all of the sports. What's your take on that, though, brother?
Man, I'm a fan of it. But now I posed this question a couple of weeks ago on Twitter, and I'll get your opinion on it. Is there really such a thing as dead period? I don't know. With as much travel teams that goes plays that don't have high school affiliation, I mean, I don't know if there really is a dead period or if it's just something that we like using anymore. You close down the school facilities, but the public facilities are still open. If you're going to do it, I think why not do it sports related? You know what I mean? If you're going to do basketball, then that basketball, when it ends in March, let it be closed till June. Baseball ends in March, let it not close till June. Football closes in September or November, close it until February. I think I don't know what, if you close it by sport, what it would hurt by closing them for a month after that sport's over with, saying, look, if you're playing basketball, you can't get back in the gym for a month. You need a month off to let your body heal. If you play football, let's close the football facilities for a month. No weight room, nothing on the field, nothing. And same way with baseball and softball, whatever sport you're playing, close those facilities for a month. I think then you might have a dead period. But for having the 2 weeks, I mean, I like it. I think the kids need a break. I just don't know the ones that's really play it if there's such thing as a dead period, if they're going to take it anyway.
Well, I think you could enforce it to a point to where there is still yet some ways that we could get a handle on some things. People talks about not being able to police stuff. James, I'm convinced that playing time is a great way to prove your point on some of this stuff. You let little Johnny know, hey, if you get caught playing during the dead period, don't worry, we're gonna give you 4 weeks off whenever dead period's over. And all of a sudden, some of these guys would take a little break. And I feel like it's important, man, that they get a little break here.
Well,
Physically,
I'm waiting.
with their families, all the different things going on out there, brother.
I'm with you 100%. But who's going to police that? I mean, if you're going to do it, and I'm not taking anything away from a high school coach, but if you're a high school athlete, high school coaches aren't going to tell on their athletes. Athletic directors not going to tell on their own athletes. They may, frown upon it, but they're not publicly going to come out and say that it's this way or that way, or we caught this kid in the gym or playing somewhere. If you do it, you're going to have maybe some kind of sanction committee by KHSAA that periodically goes out unannounced and checks some of these facilities. If they're there, man, hammer them. I mean, I'm about there's dead periods there for a reason. If you get caught, I mean, there's nothing wrong with suspending the AD, the administration, coaches, whatever it takes, because the dead period's there for a reason. But if you're going to police it, you're going to have some way to police outside that school system.
I agree with that totally, man. And this is the time of the year everybody starts talking about AAU and travel baseball and softball and volleyball. And does it help? Does it not help? And everybody got an opinion about it. I'm convinced you get better by playing against better. And so if the kids are getting fundamental drills and also get to play against better competition, then I say have at it. Oh, there's the light. Where was you when the lights come on? You shine brighter than a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
But James, I just don't know though. Again, I'm starting to see injuries more than ever before. We're starting to see kids talk about maybe not playing, and I'm wondering, are some of these kids just getting burnt out, for lack of better words, brother?
Well, and that's a good point. Back when we played, and you go back, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was that long ago. When basketball season was over, it was over. You moved on to baseball. When baseball was over, you moved on to football.
Right.
There wasn't
Fishing.
all this. Yeah, fishing.
People still used to fish back in our days.
Yeah, summer's off. You still played some kind of summer ball, but it was only 2 or 3 weeks. It wasn't year round. Then you moved on to the next sport, and if you didn't play another sport, you just took off till it come back up. Maybe until, if you didn't play basketball, you took off till open gym started, usually in September. And sometimes you think, does not having a closed season affect kids playing multiple sports? If you're constantly making somebody feel like we've got open gym, AAU basketball, and it runs from this point to this point, and then we're going to open gym back up in August, well, do they feel pressured not to play football? And vice versa. If you play football, you start right after the dead period. You play all the way to November. You take 2 weeks off, you start lifting weights if you want to play basketball or baseball, but football is your sport. Or is there pressure to stay in the weight room instead of playing baseball? And those sports go on, and I'm just curious if not having a longer dead period or actually if we're keeping kids from playing multiple sports that
Did Brady pitch ever? And I've got a reason for asking that.
Yeah, he didn't enough to matter.
So I know Kennedy did then. So let me ask you from her standpoint, when did you as a dad know she'd pitched enough? And I'm going with this, James, as you're thinking about answering that question or give me an answer. I saw some high school baseball pitchers finish high school baseball season, and the next thing I know, they're on the mound playing travel baseball. And I just wonder, is that good? When does their arm ever rest? Is it getting them stronger? I honestly don't know enough probably to even be asking the question, but what's your take on that?
Well, baseball is a little different than softball. They say softball pitching is natural motion. Girls, a lot of the pitchers don't have trouble with their arms. They have trouble with their hips or knees later down the road from the impact. Baseball, there's a reason there's a pitch count. And what really hurts is if you play high school or middle school, and then you go play a travel ball. There's a lot of good travel ball coaches out here, but all they care about is winning. So if you throw 65 pitches Friday night and you got a tournament Saturday in travel ball, you ain't pitched none, so you throw 65 more pitches or 100 pitches on Saturday. So a lot of it just comes down to the character of the coaches. Are they more interested in winning? Or are they more interested in developing? And if they're more interested in developing, they'll go by the rules. The ones that don't, they're not. Their arms are going. At some point, they're going to have a injury, and you just hope it's not a severe enough injury to where it ends it.
And at the end of the night, James, that's the, I want what's best for my girls. I'll just be honest with you, and I would want what's best for my son if I had a son pitching. You want them to get the best exposure. You want them to get the most out of their potential, but you don't want them to 20 years from now say, I don't know if it's worth it. I might would just as soon to have my shoulder and my elbow and not have this arthritis than to have got 2 more wins.
Yeah. It just comes down most of the time. Like I said, there's a lot of, and I'll probably take some heat over talking about AAU coaches, but it is what it is. Kennedy played them for years and all that.
There's great AAU coaches, but then there's some, James, that's horrible. They in it for the dollar.
Yeah. And so, if you're blessed with a really good coach, congratulations.
Yeah.
If not, you know it. If your son pitched Thursday night, that he should be pitching on Saturday.
Right.
If your AAU coach or travel ball team coach is trying to talk you into pitching him Saturday, he cares about winning. He don't care about your kid. I mean, it's that simple. Nobody's going to convince me any other way. I've been around enough. I've watched it enough. I've heard enough stories. I've watched enough kids at 13, 14, 16 years old never play again due to injuries. So, if you're blessed with a good coach, have at it. If not, I'm not going to change my mind.
We like to do this from time to time. If I give you the Kentucky High School Athletic Association Commissioner's hat, now that you've had the full seasons in, tell me 3 changes from any sport that you'd make after we finished up. We're now done. We went through all the seasons. What's 3 things you'd like to see us do here?
Well, number one, we do away with that foul each quarter crap. If you're going to do it, then let's call it what it is.
How you feel about it?
If you're going to do that, let's go to a bonus. Let's go to 1-1, not 2 shots.
Yeah.
And if that's the situation, let's go from 5 fouls to 3.
Right.
Because then I think the coaches can come out. You can afford 3 fouls real quick. 5's hard to get if you're down 2 points with a minute to go. Right. Let's go to 3. But it's a bonus no matter what. Once you get to that foul situation, I don't care if you can commit 15 fouls in a quarter. You're still shooting bonus.
Right.
The third one is probably...
So we undo the rule. We change the foul situation. And the third one?
I think that in high school baseball, we need a pitch clock. High school softball, will last an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes on really good competitive teams, 2 hours on less competitive teams. Even a really good high school baseball team are 2.5, 3 hour ball games. I think that we need to go to a pitch clock. And I like the way the college does is a one-way communication to the catcher. That's a rule. They can do that in high school. We went away from it. But I think it ought to be a pitch count.
What's the one way?
What do you, and I got one more. If you do what?
What do you mean one way? What's that mean, bro?
Where the coach from a dugout can talk to the catcher, but they can't talk back to the catcher. I mean,
cool.
The catcher can't talk to the coach. Only the coach can talk to the catcher.
Cool.
One-way communication.
Yeah.
And then I think if in high school baseball or softball, if you want to intentionally walk somebody, you do it before the at-bat. If you throw one pitch, you got to pitch to them.
I know the Savannah Bananas has got a bunch of stuff. I've been keeping up with them because of Dalton Cornett. And some of the stuff makes their games interesting, man. They got some rules that are way out there, but then they've got some other rules that make things pretty cool as far as challenges and things like that. Brad Centers says the shot clock in high school basketball and a pitch clock in baseball. He agrees 100% with you there on that pitch count.
Yeah,
Good to have Brad tuning in with us, man.
Yeah, man. Then if you're going to do football, I think in football, if you're going to change one thing, you might should get one challenge, to where you can actually throw it there and challenge to see if any other of the officials caught that play. That's one in basketball, one in football, one in baseball and softballs. I think that each high school coach should have one challenge to where that all the officials have to come together and make one call. Not a replay, not going to any kind of video, just where they all got to get together and come up with that rather right call.
The first time I saw one referee overturn another one, I thought, what is that? But James, the more I saw it happen, the more I realized that there are times when one may have a better view than the other one, and get it right. You know what I mean?
Get it right.
Shouldn't take all day.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's what all the officials want to do. They want to get it right. Coaches want to see it and get it right. And because you're standing at a different angle than I am, you might not have been able to get it right. It's not because you didn't. It's just that you didn't have the right angle. And like you said, somebody else may have had a better view on it. But if I had to make 3 rule changes, that's the 3 I'd make.
And when that comes along again, just make the call, move on with it too. You know what I mean?
Move on.
Yes, certainly. So, hey James, as we continue to go on, man, if you're coaches right now, and it is the dead period, I want to get back to that, but I want to go in a positive direction. What are some things these coaches can still yet do to make sure that little Johnny ain't sitting up all night playing PlayStation and sleeping all day?
Well, at the end of the day, there's really nothing you can do. These are kids. You know what I mean? They're kids. They're gonna stay up all night, and they're probably gonna fish creeks and go fishing and have fun and go on dates with their girlfriends. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. You just want them to go about it the right way. You don't want them going out here and it is what it is. You don't want them to go out here and get drunk, laying on strip jobs or do anything along those lines. You want them to stay proactive and good citizens in the community, and you want them to come back refreshed and ready to go.
I like it. I was at the Sportsplex and saw a couple kids coming in and out of that gym with some of their buddies, and I thought, that speaks well too. That proves they love the game and love each other enough to go play on their own. And so you might challenge them to do some of that as well. Something I wanted to happen, I wanted you to get the dirt track bug, and you've yet to do that, but the next best thing has happened. I believe your baby boy starting to like this dirt track racing.
No, he ain't liking it, Jamie Hughes. He's fell in love with it.
I told you, man, he doesn't like it.
I get tickled at him, and you know where this is coming from. 2 weeks ago, ISOM shut down. Nobody was running. It was over. 2 days later, was it 191 or something shuts down? He come through the house like his girlfriend left him. I mean, he was the most depressed guy in the neighborhood. And I was like, what is wrong with you? And he says, ain't no dirt track at Eastern Kentucky.
Son, he fell in love with it and they took it away from him.
Yeah, he fell in love hard with it.
But good news for him, it's back, my friend. And we're glad to be able to say that. Darren Sloan and Rick Noble from down your way have leased Mountain Motor and actually ran last Friday night. And they're going to run again this Friday night, James Sandlin. They'll have what they call the 4-cylinder frenzy. 800 to win for the 4 cylinders. Guys, that's about double what they normally race for. And they're going to do a couple other things. The fastest 4 of these cars will run an extra race for some extra money. And the guy that wins that race gets the option of going to the main back. He can start the last spot. And if he works his way to the front, James Sandlin, he gets $200 more. He could leave there, my friend, with $1,000. That's a pretty good night for the 4 cylinders.
Yeah, that's a pretty good night. Brady said he went this past Friday when you and Darren, I guess Darren and them opened it back up, and he said that That's the most people he'd seen at Isom all year. Really good crowd.
I've had several people tell me that. And hey, James, we got to have a little fun here, bro. 1 through 41. Pick a number, 1 through 41.
1 through 41. Let's go with 25. That was my baseball number back in high school. Let's go with 25.
God, you're going to be making me count forever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're giving away 2 tickets to whoever shared our post last night. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
You're going to have to get more toes. You're going to go out
14,
high.
15. I am, man.
You're going to have to start over. You got lost at 15.
No, I did not. Matilda Baker. Matilda Baker will be the winner of the first 2 tickets that me and you are giving away Friday night. Matilda, how this will work, I will text your name to Darren. Darren's supposed to join us on here tonight. And if he's actually at the track, he texted me a minute ago. That's what I was doing, checking my phone, what time James was eating. And so there wasn't nothing good coming out of that because he was eating and I was texting when we were supposed to be talking. But Darren's on the fire truck right now. But nevertheless, let's give away 2 more tickets a little later on. But the first 2 tickets, and that's from Hometown Sports Corner. We're going to pay for those tickets out of our pocket. Goes to Matilda Baker, and I'll message her later and let her know that she has won. Big Vance says, be busier than the Isom Double Quick when the big I was open. Sometimes I got to be careful. Every now and then I read his stuff and I got to say, whoops. Yeah. I better not.
All right, listen.
Hey, look here. I can hear him anyway. I can't see him, but I can hear him. I believe we got Darren Sloan on here with us too now.
I'm here. I'm trying to find some light. There we go.
All right. Look here. How about that? He busy as I don't know what, James Sandler.
Yeah, he like me. He looks better when the lights are out.
Buddy, that's the true statement right there.
Darn, I reckon all you got to do to run one of these racetracks is just go buy some popcorn, sell it, right?
Man, it's experience everybody that needs to do once in their life. I guess you'll respect other people a whole lot more.
What are you doing over there tonight?
We had a staff meeting tonight, trying to just, first couple of weeks we know there's a few bugs and we're working those out, trying to improve and make things a lot better for everybody. And of course, we've been prepping the track since 8 o'clock this morning, get things smoothed out. We just put the last load of water on it. I'll tell you what, man, she looks good.
Let me ask you a question. What's been the most challenging thing you've seen so far in your first 2 weeks of opening the racetrack?
Man, to be honest with you, the most challenging probably so far is running from one thing to the other, making sure that it's taken care of. It's like when you get your track prep done, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot, I got to go check on the concession, and then I got to go check on the tech man, and then I got to make sure that the grass is getting cut. No, I got to pick the garbage up. It's so much. The biggest overwhelming thing is, and it'll be better. That's, I've got Jamie on board with me who's going to help me handle a lot of the promotions and the internet things, and I've got a great tech man who is going to be there and help us and be fair and make sure everybody knows they're coming to race at a fair racetrack. And we've got a woman that's over the concession that a few weeks she'll get that lined out. That's my plan, just to give people these jobs and let them hold their station down so it'll be a lot more enjoyable for me.
Well, let's flip the book. So now what's been the most rewarding out of the last 2 weeks?
I'll be honest with you, James, everybody that knows me knows I don't like conflict. I don't like drama. I run away from trouble if I can keep from any trouble happening. And the best thing so far for me is people that I've seen for years and years, and I don't think I spoke a word to, that's come up and shook my hand and said, I just want to commend you for parking your race car for a little bit and keeping a track close to home. And I don't say that for a pat on the back or somebody to give me a good word on Facebook, but and you know what? Probably the hardest thing too. That's probably right up there with the hardest thing is for me to park my car in the garage and come over here to ice them without my hauler on the back of my truck. Just because I love the sport that much, that I was given an opportunity to help run a track and to open a track and keep a track close to home, to keep people from driving 2.5 hours away. And that's the reward thing for me, to meet so many good people that I've kind of knew and acquainted with, my whole life, that's come up, shook my hand, and we've introduced themselves, and we've just kicked it off, and I've gained so many friends in such a short amount of time.
Hey, Darren, a good car count. I think it'll be a better car count this week and a good fan base. I think that's the most important thing to do in opening a track, is to build your fan base. And week one worked pretty good for you, brother.
Yeah. So a couple of the guys that's in this with me, can you still hear me, Jamie?
Yes, sir. Got you good. Yeah, we
Okay,
got you.
good deal. A couple of guys that is in this with me, I told them, I said, here's our priorities. I said, we've got 2 priorities, and it's kind of common sense. It's number 1, take care of the drivers. We're going to pay them good. We're going to give them the best track possible to race on, and we're going to get them out of here in a timely manner, and we're going to take care of the fans. We're going to try to give the fans the best seat, the most enjoyable place to come and watch a race, kid-friendly environment, no fighting, good prices to get through the gate, good prices at concession stand, and getting home at an early hour and being able to go home and brag about it, that you had a blast. And I really believe we accomplished those 2 things last weekend, and I'm so excited because, man, I tell you what, I know things happen, but I've been reached out to by so many drivers that says they're coming this week. It's not going to shock me if we have 60 cars on the ground this weekend. It really won't. I look for it, to be honest with you. I mean, I haven't even promoted this yet, Jamie, because I don't want to tie a driver down that hasn't fully committed, but like just the sport mod class, I think you're going to see some of the best racing in the sport mods. And it sucks the 19 car ain't going to be out there in the middle of it. But that's okay. That's all right. I've talked to Damon Runyon's coming. Jason Hall says he's going to try to come. Hunter McLeod's coming. My brother Gary Brent. Nick Mason's coming back. A little birdie stopped by and told me that Brandon Hutchison will be in a sport mod tomorrow night. And then Chandler Likens, Connor McKenzie, I look for there to be 12 to 15 sport mod and probably 8 drivers that can win the race. And then the crate division, we seen Raymond last week stick his nose under Brandon a couple of times. Raymond's getting there. He's finding speed. Phelps is definitely the man to beat. But, I mean, I think 13 cars, Jamie, last week at the crates. That's the most
Yes,
we've been
sir.
at Isom all year. It gets better, the modifieds. You're going to have a couple of the stealth guys there. Henry Sizemore's coming back out tomorrow night. Then I look for Oscar and Hunter Feltner, Brandon Mason, Jamie Maggart, Kevin Harkins. Once again, 8 or 10 guys in that class that can win on any given night. And Nick Mason's going to park. He's told me now, Nick might change his mind, but Nick has told me that he's parking his car tomorrow night in the bomber division. So we're going to have a new bomber winner this year for the first time. And I look for it to be exciting, good racing in that bomber class. But the one everybody's got circled is that 4-cylinder race. And I know you was going to ask me about it. But, man, I'm so excited about that. That's going to be something I think the fans is going to want to come watch.
The 4-cylinder frenzy, Darren. You tell them a little more about it, brother.
Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to qualify every car. We're going to give every one of the 4 cylinders 3 laps to put their best lap down. The top 4 qualifiers will run a dash for $50. The winner of that dash, it'll be a 6-lap dash, the winner of that dash will get a decision. He can either start on the pole for the 800 to win race, or he can elect to go to the back. If he goes to the back and can come up and win the race in 15 laps, he'll get $150 extra. So if somebody can qualify top 4, win the dash, go to the tail and win the feature, they'll be taking home $1,000 tomorrow night. And I look for there to be over 24 cylinders there, Jamie, for that.
I tell you what, they better have their A game if they're going to take anything away from that Baker. He was strong this weekend, and you know he's going to be looking to get back out there. Hey, Darren, I know that you're traveling, and I'll lose you, but again, what time will gates open? And we're just getting started. We got some big, with capital B-I-G letters, coming up here in July and August. Right, brother?
Yes, sir. We got some big races that's getting the iron details worked out in them, and I think these fans are going to. And Jamie, let me say that too before I get off here. I can promise you guys, when I say this about me and Rick Noble, Rick Noble's my partner in the track. Me and him took it on together. and I can say this about both of us, we are not in this to make a dollar. For some people, that sounds foolish. I've devoted the last 3 weeks of my life, I've devoted way more hours to the track than I have my regular job. But I want people to understand that we are not in this for money. We're here to give back to the fans and to the drivers. And we plan on doing that to create some big races for these people to come out and watch and these drivers to have a chance to win. So yeah, you guys just stay up to date. Jamie and me will work these out. We'll be posting it on here and on the Facebook page at Mountain Motor Speedway. But we got a big 4th of July race planned. Everybody planned to bring their family out on the July the 5th on the Friday night. We're going to have some great fan giveaways. Been talking to old Benny Feltner. He's throwing some ideas my way about getting these fans some money, chance to win big money. A few fireworks for the kids and maybe do a bike race and have a big modified race. And then going to do a big crate race. And then we plan to get the supers in here in the 1st of August to run a big super late model show. And then back in September, we're going to run a big crate race. The series is coming to town. So every month, we've got some big races planned, but yeah, the pit gates open at 3 o'clock, $35 to get through the gate, kids 5 and under free. And then on the hill, the grandstands open at 5 p.m., $15 for adults, kids 10 and under get in free. And we're ironing our concession stands out and making things go smoother there. I promise everybody it'll be a lot smoother this weekend there. Come down and get you a burger, a hot dog, some fries, something cold to drink. And I promise you guys, we'll put on a heck of a show for you, and we'll get you out there at a very decent hour. That's my promise as the director of a track, is we won't be over there no longer than we have to.
We are working some details out too to where we can go live from the track, and that'll help us in a lot of different ways. And then that also going to open the door up. I'll be able to talk James Sandlin into coming with me, Darren, and helping me announce.
Hey, I have a seat for James in the booth.
Yeah.
And I don't think that'll get James there, but I think this will. James, I've got 2 hot dogs on the house, brother. I want to show up.
Now that might get me there. I mean, I don't know about the booth, but the free
Is that
food,
with chili or not?
You might be talking my language now.
Hey, I got you an unlimited tab at the concession stand, brother, if you just come out.
Hey, Darren, you be careful going home, brother, and we'll see you in a little bit.
All right, thank you, boys. Appreciate y'all a lot.
Be careful, Darren.
See you, brother.
I know he was talking your talk when he said open tab down at the concession. Do you know?
Yeah,
you just pick up the phone and say, hey, I'd like some nachos and a hot dog, and they'll bring it to you.
He's talking free. That's my language. I mean, I work at the state.
But then he'll give you a pencil and a paper and tell you to go to work scoring and keeping stats. And
there's one thing about it. He don't want me doing none of that, because I'd be looking at you. Be like that first time you did football with me. You'd be like, hey, what does that do?
Yeah.
I mean, how many points is that?
Yeah. I'm still learning it, but I have learned a bunch. You'll be proud of me the first football game we call. James, the only bad thing when they asked me to come work for them, I said, guys, there's just one problem. I have my vacation and I have to preach a revival. I will be missing back-to-back races. But they'll have everything. It's in good hands. And then I'll be there and hopefully get you over there for that 4th of July race. That's going to be a dandy, man. It's always a fun time because people get off work and they get to bring their families. And you'll see people just all sitting around on picnic blankets and just having a big time at the 4th of July race. And then they shoot those fireworks off about dark 30. And it's a fun time, brother.
Man, it sounds like I said, Brady, he's fell in love with it. He's now owning racing shirts. I never thought, the only racing shirt I ever wore, I will tell this story, is for Tim Mason. Tim Mason's girl, Brooke, played softball for me, and I told him I'd support him. He brought me shirts, and I've wore racing Tim Mason shirts on the beaches in Florida. So,
I have too. And I wore one time to a rodeo, and I wore one of his shirts to a rodeo, and this guy was heckling me, and I was about afraid to turn around because I didn't go to the rodeo for no trouble. I just went to have a big time, and lo and behold, it was Tim. What you doing with that racing shirt on at a rodeo?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and it's a fun sport, and it's something that Darren and those guys have committed to make it a family event. We're going to get rid of some of the stuff that might have went on in the past with fighting and so forth. And, if you want to go to a fight, I got some buddies that promote wrestling. We'll call up Kyle Maggard and get you some tickets to the AMW.
Right.
But James, back to it though. Let me just for a real quick minute here run down some of the results. It's in the picture comment too now, guys. If you haven't went, check it out in the picture comment. The results from Mountain Motor Speedway. Oscar McCowan won the open wheel modified. Jamie Maggard was second. Hunter Feltner had the car to beat, but he looped it around in turn 4 and give way to the new leader. And Hunter finished third. Tony Sizemore and Melvin Shepard would round out the top 5. As we said, Billy Baker won the 4-cylinders, and he'll look to make it 2 in a row as he races in that 4-cylinder frenzy this weekend. James Jones finished second. Justin Mullins from here in Knott County was third. Aaron Baker and Marty Bates would be the top 5. Going to give a shout out to Braden Campbell and Caleb Cottle. Jacoby Bush and Braxton Boyd, also a Knott County boy there, finishing in the top 10. In the late models is a Knott County native, Brandon Fouts from over in Beaver. James, let me just tell you something. Just since it's just me and you, I don't know if they can beat him over there.
Hey, they call him the BLD Bandit for a reason.
Son, he was carrying the mail and on go. But if anybody can, I won't be a bit surprised if it ain't Raymond Nichols. Raymond was right there with him a couple, 3 times. I thought he was going to get around him. And just when it was the checker flag fell, it would be Fouts getting the win. Nichols was second. Shannon Thornsbury, Ralph Francis, and Lenny Bates were the top 5. Shout out to Lenny there. And then in the sport mods, Nick Mason. Man, Nick's on a roll right now. He got the win. Connor McKenzie, Josh Curtis, and Chandler Likens would be the top 5 in the sport mods over there. But again, James, this will be a fun one. The following week will be a fun one. But then the 4th of July weekend, we're going to hype it up for a reason. It's going to be a Jim Dandy, as they say, over there on the 4th of July.
Right. What you're telling me is it's going to be a Ric Flair kind of night.
Woo! Diamonds are forever and checkered flags fly high on Friday night.
That's it.
Hey, James, as we get ready to wrap up the show, brother, what are you thinking about the schedules that you're seeing already? I'm amazed. Football schedules are just about, most of them are done, man. This new district going to make it easier? I mean, or did that play an effect?
You know, Leslie County's back in Knott County's district. You know, Knott County's got I'm always going to say they're in the hunt, but the hunt got a little harder when Leslie County come back in with Coach Melton. Knott returns a lot of experience from last couple of years. Going to have a new facility up and running at some point this fall or late summer, early fall. But now I'm telling you, and I'm going to make the prediction now. There's people that was going to go across the mountains to watch Landry Collett at Leslie County High School. That young man has put on a show this summer in workouts at different colleges. He's going to be one that a lot of people talk about this year over Leslie County.
James, I didn't know it was capable for some of these kids to get bigger, and I'd be doggone, every one of them already looks bigger, and we still got 2.5, 3 months to go, brother.
Yeah, I look forward to it. You know, it's I like the way Knott schedule. I think they open up at home the first 2 or 3 ball games, so they're going to get into a chance to get the jitters out and the rust off of them early at home, and they're in a real winnable district, or a competitive district, I should say. Coach Mullins, being his 3rd season, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm liking what I'm hearing and seeing out of Hazard. I know we'll break all these schedules down and interview players and coaches and so forth, but there's a good buzz over there at Hazard with the Bulldogs and the Commodores. And again, Letcher Central's looking to get some things going, and it'll be interesting to see who for some of these teams, who's the next man up for them,
Yeah, you're right. Coach Chandler, man, he's working them hard over at Hazard. Of course, we know that Coach Moore at Breathitt County's working the boys out hard on the riverbank, or will be on the riverbank. Them boys live in the weight room, so I I'm looking forward to, man. There's a lot of good football going to go on the mountains, and you've always got Pikeville and Belfry in the running. Shelby Valley run in postseason had one of the most electrifying offenses I'd seen all year when Knott went and played them in the postseason in the playoffs. So looking forward to see how they bounce back. With a new quarterback over there, and Pike Central had a really good year. So, man, I'm excited about getting to talk and watch some of these teams coming about this fall.
Me too, man. Me too. And again, we got a lot of different neat ideals that we're going to do this year to help showcase some of the middle school football, and then do even more in depth, hopefully, with some of the other football and volleyball coming. Soccer, Knott County got them a couple good hires in soccer, and we got a bunch of stuff to talk about, James. It's been a fun show, man. Before we get off the air, couple things we started doing during basketball season that I'm starting to do now with dirt track racing. This week's Driver of the Week award, I put 5 drivers up there, and it was a good competition. Brandon Fouts gets 55 votes, though. Josh Rice got a 10,000 to win. Well, he got 42 votes. Nick Mason got 45 votes. Nick, of course, won in 2 classes. But this week, as voted on by you, the fans, Driver of the Week is Brandon Fouts. So we'll post that a little better here and get that on the boards for you. Guys, we need you to help us share this show. We want you to interact with us as much as you can. There's Larry Combs, says racing at Thunder Mountain Speedway Saturday night in Corbin. Red, appreciate you tuning in here, and we're glad to, any way at all, we can help you guys announce what's going on down there at Corbin. By all means, you fellas let us know, and we'll be glad to do that. Also got a flyer here, James, 3,500 to win Saturday, July the 6th, and the Hall of Fame ceremony at Lake Cumberland Speedway. The American All-Star Series will be in town down there. Then they'll have the American All-Star Series weekly mid-season championships at Lake Cumberland on June the 29th. Racing Saturday night over at Willard Speedway. Gates open at 2 and drivers meeting at 6:30. Now, race fans, before we leave, on a serious note, many times you guys see me on here, me and a guy named Vernon Swartz. We'll debate on. He gets on here and gives me a hard time, talks junk about Kentucky, and then I asked him, does he even have a team? We pick on each other. But on a serious note, Vernon's brother passed away this week. And some people, I think, sometimes, I've had people go to my defense, James, and try to tell Vernon, leave Jamie alone. But guys, we're friends, we're buddies. That's kind of a little show when you see me and Vernon arguing back and forth. But no arguments here, man. It's all sincere when I say my thoughts and prayers are not only with Mr. Swartz, my buddy down there at Lake Cumberland, and but his entire family, as Rod Carter passed away, and they had his service at down in Corbin this week. And I just, on a serious note, before we leave here tonight, wanted to say that my thoughts and prayers are with the Carter family down there, James. It's another great thing about dirt track racing, man. Just like you can say with baseball, softball, football, and so forth, you just meet so many good people, brother, that it allows you to make friends in places you never would have dreamt you'd even know somebody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've watched that traveling with you across the Commonwealth the last 2 years. We've been a lot of places. It seems like no matter where we go, somebody's always talking about dirt track.
Yeah, and it's just and it's something that I'll get you hooked. If I don't, Brady will before it's over. But James, again,
Yeah.
I appreciate you being on here with me tonight. And we're going to try to get a couple shows in, and then we'll be full-fledged. And come July, it'll be a weekly deal, man.
Yes,
and,
sir.
We're looking forward to that. We got a lot of different things in store, a lot of stuff. And guys, I have never asked you, like you're going to hear me ask you in the next 3 months, to hit that like and share button. I'm just going to be very candid with the folks, James. I've got some sponsors that are watching my numbers right now. And I got a feeling that we got a chance to get a couple new opportunities if we can get these numbers up just a little bit. And so we'll work hard on getting them up in the next little bit. And, anything else on your mind down there in Emelina, KY?
Buddy, no sir. Just like always, if you ain't got nowhere to go to church on this Sunday, you can join us at Montgomery Baptist Church, just outside of Hyman on West 550, about 5 miles. Montgomery Baptist. We start church at 11 o'clock. Usually go to about 12:30. If you can't make the morning service, you can always join my good buddy and friend Jamie Hughes, Pastor Jamie Hughes, Lighthouse Baptist. On East 550, about the same distance going the other way on from Hyman. His services start at 2 o'clock. Either place you go, we'd love to have you. Come in, find a seat. If you can't find a seat, we'll go get one. Make sure you have somewhere to sit with us.
That's right, man. I tell them all the time, if you don't like your seat, I'll give you mine. Just come and worship the good Lord with us. Buddy, as always, it's getting ready to get fun for us, and I appreciate you more than you know.
Buddy, I appreciate you, and looking forward to it. We took about 3 weeks off, man. I was getting ready to fire back up.
We got a bunch of stuff coming up real soon, James. You tell everybody down there we said hello, okay, brother?
Yes, sir, Jamie. Y'all have a good evening, my buddy.
We'll see you folks right around the corner on Hometown Sports Corner.
For over 100 years, the Bank of Hyman has been committed to serving our community and serving the future of our families, homes, and businesses. With our new convenient online banking, viewing your account balance and history, transferring money, and paying bills has never been easier or more secure. And with the construction of our new headquarters, we've renewed our promise to Hyman to stand by our customers even in troubling economic times, because we're not just your bank, we're your neighbors. That's the Bank of Hyman. Log on to www.bankofhyman.com or give us a call at 606-785-3158.
Hicks Brothers Construction knows that times are tough and your money is hard to come by. That's why they pledge to always do the job right the first time. Specializing in backhoe work, septic systems, house seats, and road work. No job is too big or too small. Hicks Brothers Construction, a name you know you can count on. Call 606-785-4838. That's Hicks Brothers Construction.
Take the short drive to satisfaction with the Tim Short Auto Group. Up to 5,000 vehicles to choose from. Shop online or in person.
Hey, I'm Tim Short. I'd just like to invite everybody out to one of our 27 locations, or check us out online at timshortautogroup.com.
Take the short drive to satisfaction and bring home your new vehicle.
Dr. Fran Hughes is a graduate of Alice Lloyd College and Pikeville's Osteopathic Medicine. Dr. Hughes has spent the last 12 years serving the people of Eastern Kentucky and was most recently promoted to the Associate Professor in her department with the University of Kentucky. She's now seeing patients at Quantum Healthcare in Hazard, Kentucky, the clinic where she began her profession. While walk-ins are welcome, you can also call the clinic to schedule an appointment with Dr. Fran Hughes.
Nestled in the mountains of Appalachia, along the Purpose Road, is a hidden gem, Alice Lloyd College. For 100 years, ALC has been providing opportunities.
Opportunity to learn from the best.
Opportunity to work for my education.
Opportunity to serve my community.
Opportunity to become a leader.
Opportunity to find my life's purpose.
Apply now to find your purpose at Alice Lloyd College.